What if I told you that Adolf Hitler lost World War II largely, or at least the turning point of World War II, was largely based on his obsession with the city with a specific name? Of course, you probably have already figured out that I'm speaking about Stalingrad. And Stalingrad bore the name of the Russian leader at the time. So it's highly unusual to name a city after a living individual, but here we were. Stalingrad is in the Caucasus mountain range area, although it itself is on a relatively flat plain within the valley of the river Volga. And it had strategic value. That can't be understated. Stalingrad did have not substantial, but notable strategic importance, particularly due to its location on the Volga River, which would have enabled a much quicker advance eastward for the 6th Panzer Army under the German Reich. However, it is not a city that they absolutely needed or absolutely had to take entirely. If they had enough of an opening to get to the Volga River, then that would have actually sufficed. They did not need to take the entire city. Of course, Stalingrad had a very substantial purpose as far as manufacturing was concerned, and its location was critical. But you get, if Nazi Germany had gotten enough to break across the Volga River, then the Caucasus oil fields would have been much easier accessible, and that should have been the real goal, was to capture the Caucasus oil fields and those particular resources that the Soviet Union possessed at the time. Capturing the entire city of Stalingrad was not necessary. But that said, Hitler's obsession with it, because again it was named after Joseph Stalin, then that was why he threw everything they possibly could at it, and would not stop until he had captured the entire city, which of course he never did. In fact, his defeat there started the German retreat all the way back to Berlin, and the Red Army was pursuing them all the way. The 6th Panzer Army actually was destroyed at Stalingrad because General Paulus surrendered there, because the 6th Panzer Army of Friedrich Paulus surrendered there because his entire 6th Panzer Army was completely surrounded by the Red Army and had no escape route available. They were trapped. It was either they were going to be starved in place there, or they could do what they did and surrendered. And so, but the craziest part about that is that Hitler had a no surrender policy. So Paulus became one of the few generals to openly defy the Fuhrer at Stalingrad by surrendering. And Hitler tried to make him not surrender by actually giving him a promotion. Because at no time in history had anyone of a field general rank surrendered within the Nazi military ranks. Paulus was the first. And this is all because Hitler had an obsession with taking a city named after his bitter rival Joseph Stalin. It's on the river Volga, so today the city is named Volgograd. Naturally. A lot of Soviet cities were named either back to their traditional names in that particular case, or in the case of Leningrad, which was named after Vladimir Lenin, was also named back to its traditional name of St. Petersburg, which is today is Russia's second largest city, the second primary urban center, only to Moscow. But Stalingrad, or Volgograd today, Hitler just had to take the entire city. Again, not necessary for military purposes, but he was absolutely hell-bent on taking the entire city of Stalingrad and probably burning it to ashes when it was done. But he never got this opportunity because the high water mark was held there, and from this point forward, the surrender of the 6th Panzer Army led to the full-on retreat of Army Group Central westward. And the Red Army from this point forward seized the momentum and pushed them westbound, out of the Soviet Union, all the way to Berlin, where we all know what happened in August of 1945. So this is it for tonight's episode. So yes, what have I told you? That Stalin, the turning point of the war, hinged on his obsession with a city named after his bitter rival. Enjoy your Sunday night, guys. I'm filming the same day, just like this morning's version. And on tomorrow, I'll be back, and I think I'll be doing a same day version again. I have a couple of them in the can from previous days at this point, but come back and let me know any other strange facts about World War II that you might be interested in having me explore. I've already explored quite a few, but I'm sure there's going to be some more that you can think of that I can think of. Give me a hand, drop a comment in the comments below, and a like as well. So thank you very much. Peace out, homies.